Welcome to our series, Moving America Forward. Each week we'll be focusing on America's entrepreneurs as they take us to new roads, new opportunities, new ways to fill the gaps left by today's failing companies. Our series will be looking at that and a lot more. So come with me and watch as the entrepreneurs of our nation move into the future.
And I'm Doug Llewellyn here in our studios in Los Angeles with our guest. I'd like to introduce him to you now. His name is Brett Brewer. He is the CEO of a company named Sensa Products, which is headquartered in Manhattan Beach, California. I think you're going to find this discussion very, very interesting, to say the least, and maybe you have already heard of the company called Sensa Products. Brett, welcome. Nice to have you with us here. A big pleasure indeed. Let me just mention one thing. A little while ago, you had a chance to answer some questions from William Shatner. Let us take a brief look at your conversation and the question and see how that went, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Good to have you here. I'm very concerned about health care. The real issue is, how do we keep Americans healthy? And I understand that is one of your goals. So tell me, what are you doing to help us stay healthy? Any new procedures and developments that help people to live more productive lives and in so doing, move America forward?
Thanks, Mr. Shatner. The obesity epidemic is at an all-time high and projected to increase to half the U.S. population by 2030. Obesity raises the risk for chronic diseases and premature death, this posing the single greatest threat to public health in this century. Lives are being cut short because we live in an environment that promotes excessive food intake and discourages physical activity. At Sensa, we are helping to tackle this obesity epidemic by partnering with school programs to educate children and helping Americans all over the country to lose weight through a revolutionary product that helps you learn proper portion control and eat less. And that, Mr. Shatner, is how we are helping to move America forward.
You know, Brett, that was really fascinating. As you pointed out, you've developed a product that really helps people work on their portion control, which is one of the big things you do. Before we get into that, let me ask you from your perspective, why do you think it is that so many people have problems losing weight? And why are so many Americans obese these days?
Well, the big problem with most conventional diets is they try to focus you on eating things that you normally wouldn't eat. They basically take you out of your normal routine, which is really a recipe for failure. One of the keys to Sensa is it allows you to eat the foods you would normally eat, you just end up eating slightly less.
And can you tell me why you think so many people have gotten so heavy? Why are such a large portion of the American population now overweight?
Sure, it's really a combination of two things. So it's calories in, so portion controls have expanded, or portions have expanded over time.
Right.
And people are just used to now eating a lot more. And then on the activity side and the exercise side, it has been reduced a lot, both in the jobs that we typically do and then through education. Most schools now no longer teach physical education, and so it's just less in the mindset of Americans.
All right, so let's talk about what Sensa Products manufactures, produces, and markets. You market a product called Sensa. It comes in a little shaker bottle like this. What is it and how does it work?
Right, so Sensa really works with your body's natural biology and your sense of smell. So by increasing the sense of smell of the foods that you're eating, essentially what happens is your body's feel full trigger is triggered more quickly, and therefore you eat slightly less.
You think you're full.
You think you're full.
You may not be fuller than you were, but the sense of smell is having that effect?
Exactly, yeah. Your sense of smell is much more important than most people would think in both the feeling of fullness and even the taste and flavor of food. So by enhancing that sense of smell, you're able to really eat less on a fairly consistent basis.
You know, I find that really remarkable because, as you mentioned to me a little while ago before we started, if I couldn't smell and I was eating a radish and an orange, I would find it hard to tell the difference between the two.
Exactly.
I'm going to test that. That really is pretty remarkable. I had no idea smell was that critical. And obviously smell has a key on how hungry you are. When something smells good, you want to eat it.
Exactly.
Am I right?
Yes.
So what does Sensa do? What kind of effect does it have on your smell?
It really increases the sense of smell. There's a certain sense of smell that have a tendency to lead to satiety or the feeling of fullness. And the creator of Sensa, Dr. Alan Hirsch, figured that out 15 or 20 years ago, that by increasing the sense of smell, it would be triggered in your brain and you'd eat less.
So you sprinkle this, it's like salt. I mean, it's very similar to table salt, a little finer than table salt, but that's what it's like. But when I put that on the food that I'm eating, and you put it on anything you eat, right?
Yes.
Anything in fruit?
Exactly,
whatever.
yeah. It's broken into a salty side and a sweet side. So anything that you're eating that's salty, you put on the salty side, and then anything that is sweet, you would sprinkle the sweet side.
All right, so tell me, does it affect the taste of the food? If I was eating a steak, whatever kind of steak, does the steak necessarily taste different with the Sensa on it?
No, so there's no noticeable difference in the taste, or by the way, even your smell. You don't think you can smell it, but the truth is your brain can, and it's triggering in your brain and therefore making you feel full faster.
And so that really is the key here. When you say portion control, it's portion control because your mind is telling you, rather than your stomach is telling you, you've eaten enough.
Exactly. Yeah. So you end up really eating 90 to 95% as much as you would, and it's really that last 5 or 10% that your body doesn't need, but without the help of Sensa, typically people just eat right through that point and really overeat slightly.
Well, that's pretty remarkable. Tell me a little bit about how it was developed. You mentioned the gentleman who really created this.
Sure. The creator's Dr. Alan Hirsch. He's the founder of the Chicago Smell and Taste Institute. And 20 years ago, when he was doing studies on trauma victims that had lost their sense of smell,
right,
he noticed that they would typically gain weight. So his aha moment was, well, if losing your sense of smell, you gain a bunch of weight, maybe there's a way to find a way to enhance the sense of smell and therefore lose weight. So he went through a test of 4,000 possible combinations of flavors to figure out the 12 that we use in Sensa that have the most impact on increasing their sense of smell, but also can't necessarily be noticed or change the taste of the food.
So it's interesting to note you have different flavors of Sensa.
Right.
And if you buy the product, which by the way comes in a box like this, how much quantity is in here for you?
So that's 2 months worth.
2 months worth of product
right
in
there.
Here. And this is, I don't see the label the flavor on it, but in any event, there are other flavors. One might be raspberry, the other would be, what other flavors?
Right, banana and onion, and they're all combination of flavors, and they're combined in what's called tastants.
And you do that because you don't want your taste buds to get so acclimated to one taste after a while it begins to lose its effectiveness?
Exactly.
So then you change it.
Exactly. So it's a 6-month program that you change shakers every single month.
Right.
And then some people just continue on and start over again, which you can do.
And essentially, we're using it on virtually everything you eat?
A key to Sensa is using it on absolutely everything you eat.
And would that include like a bowl of cereal in the morning?
Absolutely, yeah.
And your steak? How about your dessert? Would
Definitely
you put it on
your
apple
dessert.
pie?
You would put it
and
on apple pie.
And it doesn't ruin the taste of anything?
It doesn't. You'll still love that apple pie. You'll just end up eating a bite or two less.
Yeah. And over the long haul, I mean, this is not, the other key thing is, I have to point out, you're not counting calories on this diet, are you?
Exactly. It's very simple. And that's, again, one of the reasons why people have a tendency to fall down and quit diets is they're complicated and cumbersome. This is simple. You don't have to count calories or anything. You just have to sprinkle it on everything you eat.
Let me show a couple of pictures here. People always want to know, well, does it work? Can you have any success stories? Here are 2 examples. These are from your department here. This is Wendy. She lost 125 pounds. Now, it's different with everybody. You can't say everybody who takes it is going to lose 125 pounds. How long did it take her to lose this?
Absolutely. So Wendy lost 125 pounds in 36 months. And she, really, one of the cool things about Wendy, which we see, is once she started losing weight, she started jogging and becoming more active and has now run a couple of 10Ks. So that's a very common byproduct.
Well, as you look back at her, she would have had a hard time running a 10K like this. But here she looks sensational. It's been a huge change in her whole life, hasn't it?
Huge change in her life, yeah. And Carly is the next up, and another example of that where she lost 120 pounds over 17 months and is now able to pick up kids and walk around the block and do things that she never really thought she'd be able to do.
Wow. Ah, that's pretty fantastic. Tell me about the school program you have.
Sure. So we at Sensa are big believers in portion control, regular daily exercise, and basic good sound nutritional eating.
Right.
And we realized that one of the best places you can communicate that is to middle school kids, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
And they need it.
And they need it.
Right.
They're old enough to make their own decisions, but they're young enough to still influence.
Right.
So at Sensa, we've launched programs in roughly 140 schools, we're starting with 30,000 kids, where we're teaching healthy eating habits, good nutrition, and the importance of regular daily exercise.
And the use of Sensa?
Not the use of Sensa
Really?
per se. Yeah,
Okay.
not the use of Sensa. Yeah, we do it through two main programs. One's called After School All-Stars, where we partner with the cooking program, where it
Okay.
gets weaved into the cooking portion, and then National Theater for Children, which is more of an entertaining, interactive thing to communicate those messages to the
Pretty
kids.
remarkable. The key thing, though, the Sensa can be used by anybody? I mean, children
Absolutely.
as well as adults?
Absolutely, yeah. It's all generally regarded as safe ingredients and stuff you find naturally in your kitchen.
Now, Sensa is available online at your website,
It is.
Which is?
Sensa.com.
www.sensa.com. And also, it's now starting to show up in stores, retail.
Right.
Like CVS, drugstores, and others of that nature?
CVS, Walgreens, Target. We're in 10 major national retailers, and we're expanding every month.
Well, you know, Sensa has just come on like wildfire here. Obviously, you've got something that really, really is working. And the main thing about it, it sounds like it's easy.
Right.
You don't have to count calories. And you're not forced to exercise. You will still feel the effect if you use it enough.
Exactly.
Brett, thank you very much. It's been very interesting chatting with you. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
This organization represents companies across our great nation that embody the spirit, dedication, know-how, and can-do attitude which has made America the great nation it is today. And now let's present the Keeping America Strong Award.
Now it's my honor to present this prestigious award to Brett Brewer, who is the CEO of Sensa Products of Manhattan Beach, California, for the outstanding work that his company is doing to help keep America moving forward. Brett, it's a real pleasure to give this to you. Congratulations.
Absolutely. Thank you. On behalf of everyone back at headquarters, thrilled to accept this.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
That's it for another edition of Moving America Forward. I'm Bert Tenzer. Join us again as we continue to bring you the entrepreneurs who move America forward.
I'm William Shatner, and for all of us at Moving America Forward, thanks for watching.